Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Jessica Flynn and I am the owner and maker of Flynn Sisters Boutique. And today we're going to be tackling this cute pink Christmas double peekaboo kind of thing. I was really excited to show you guys my friend Myra's new glitter. She launched Batty Glitter this year and has done really well. She's come up with so many beautiful colors, fun mixes. I'm very excited for her. Really, there's nothing too groundbreaking about the design that I'm teaching in the video, but I really just wanted to do this more as like a passion project. Obviously, you guys, I have not uploaded a video in months, and I was really trying to use this video as a giddy up for myself and kind of get me back in the saddle and creating again. In the middle of me filming this tutorial, one of our best friends passed away. Say Thomas was 39 years old, and she passed away suddenly last Wednesday morning. And she left behind her husband, Dale, who's been struggling with leukemia for the past few years. And it is an unfathomable loss for her family, for our family, for Dale, for so many people. So many people loved Say. Say has been there for us since forever. I mean, we've been friends with her since we were little. I used to do Taekwondo with her when I was in grade school. She's been there for a long time, and she's been the best friend to us. And she was there when we launched our business. She helped set up our warehouse. She was my first employee. Chances are she's packed your order if you've ever ordered from Flynn Sisters Supply Shop. And my shop is very close-knit. It's just me and my friends running this thing. And so we're all absolutely crushed. My husband is devastated. I always would joke and say that Say was like my sister wife, because she could always be there for my husband in a way that I couldn't, you know, as a friend and emotionally sometimes. And I loved her for that, you know, and so this is a huge loss for my husband. And it's a lot. I've tried filming this intro probably 10 different times, and I keep deleting it because I just get too emotional. So I'm not going to say too much. I do want to just say this quote that Say had in her purse. Lord, teach us how to care for our friends in their darkest days. That's by Pablo Diaz. And in short, that is how Say truly lived her life. She was the most selfless, beautiful, amazing person. That's enough chit chat for me. Let's go ahead and get started. Hey guys, we are starting with a 20-ounce skinny straight tumbler today from Craft Haven. I've already sanded to prep the surface, and I'm going to base paint the color in Rose Glow from Design Masters Paint. I think you can buy this on Amazon, but I get mine from Michael's or Hobby Lobby. Can't remember, but it's one of my favorite hot pink spray paints. It's beautiful. And I'm doing just a nice thin coat. We don't have to do anything crazy. The glitter we're using today is full coverage, super metallic, super bright. I'm going to apply my glitter using the epoxy method as usual. Because it's so cold in my shop, I am going to heat my cup up with my propane torch first to help spread the epoxy on nice and thin and even, and so I don't get a lot of drag. I am using my fast setting epoxy today. You can find it at FlynnSistersSupplyShop.com. Next, I'm going to sprinkle on my glitter. This color is called Let's Go Party from Batty Glitter. I will link it down below. And you'll notice as I'm sprinkling on the glitter, I'm avoiding the very top rim and the very bottom rim. Because we're going to be doing a peekaboo over this glitter layer, we don't need to get full coverage at the very top and bottom rim. It's also going to help us smooth everything out with minimal amounts of epoxy layers. Because we are doing double glitter, it's gonna get a little thick. So anything we could do on the front end to avoid extra sanding or extra epoxy coats is going to help a lot. You'll see on the bottom here that I'm only going to put the glitter in this inner well of the bottom of the cup, leaving that outer rim completely bare, because again, you're not going to see it, and it's really hard to smooth out that bottom corner. So we're just going to leave it, and I'm going to wipe off any excess that might still be poking up. And then if you want to go around with a piece of parchment paper or something to kind of push those glitter pieces flat, so again, it'll be easier to coat later. This is a medium to chunky mix, so you will want to pat it flat before you go to lay your epoxy coat. I let that layer dry for about an hour and a half before we moved into our first epoxy coat. I forgot to film the first epoxy coat. So this is me applying the second coat. I really want to try and only do 2 coats of epoxy over that glitter layer before we do the peekaboo, because again, we are doing a second layer of glitter and we don't want it to get too thick. So we want to avoid having to do 3 layers of epoxy over this glitter. If I had to, I would, but we're just going to try not to, okay? I am using my fast setting epoxy for this layer, so we were ready to start sanding after about 4 hours. Now that my glitter is covered with the epoxy and it's nice and smooth, I'm going to just knock down any kind of pokey bits with my sanding block here. I think this is an 80 grit sanding block. I'm also going to take it along the top rim to expose a fine line of stainless steel. Remember, we didn't coat that top rim with glitter. That's going to help us really sand down as much as we can. And you want to sand down along that top rim more than you normally would, because we're going to have to sand it again after the glitter layer. And if we don't sand far enough down on this round, we may over sand later to expose that pink through the white, and we don't want that to happen. After sanding, I'm going to clean it up with some rubbing alcohol and a paper towel, and now we're ready to apply our vinyl for the stenciling. I got this pattern from Bear Trends Digital Designs on Etsy. I will link it down below. This template file is already sized appropriately for your cup. She also has a 30-ounce version if you wanted to do a larger one, but it's really easy. If I had stenciling vinyl, I would be using stenciling vinyl for this instead of permanent vinyl, but I don't, because I'm not I'm not good like that. But anyway, I'm just going to put this on my cup like I normally would. This is a really easy template to work with. I'm going to anchor it to my cup with about a 1-inch overhang of transfer tape, and then we'll wrap the template around the cup to make sure everything lines up well, and then we'll apply it with our vinyl squeegee, pushing back against that backing paper with a squeegee rather than removing that backing paper too quickly, so we can get everything nice and smoothed out on there. Before we get to the end, I'll lift up the anchor that I had placed initially, and then place the remainder of our template down. This is a really easy template to work with, and it's super cute. I love Shannon's version of this cup. It's so cute. So once we get that on there, we're ready to start spray painting. I'm just going to use Rust-Oleum's Flat White Prime and Paint, and I'm going to do 2 light coats, letting the first coat dry for about 15 to 20 minutes before I apply the second coat. This ensures that we don't have any kind of drips or heavy spots. And you'll see that I am spraying my spray paint in a sweeping motion from about 12 to 18 inches away from the cup. Once our paint is dry, I am going to coat my entire cup with Eileen's Tacket over and over adhesive that I watered down with probably about a half a teaspoon of water in my little medicine cup there. And I'm applying it with a soft makeup brush to get a nice smooth layer with no lines or pooling. Once that glue is dry, it'll feel tacky to the touch without leaving residue on your fingers. That's when we know we're ready to apply our glitter. The glitter I'm using is Willow from Batty Glitter. It's absolutely gorgeous. I love this white opal. And we're going to just burnish our glitter. This is Tacket method application. I think we all know how to do this by now. But I just love the way this glitter looks with the Tacket method. Also, there's a lot of static going on in my shop while I was doing this. So this glitter was going everywhere and it was sticking. It would not come off. That's okay. So after we get all of this burnished, we want to brush off any kind of excess and stuff, really get it pushed down. And then we can start removing our stenciling vinyl. You could see I am struggling a little bit because I used permanent vinyl instead of stenciling vinyl like I'm supposed to, but whatever. If you find yourself getting residue from your vinyl on your epoxy layer, it typically means that your epoxy wasn't fully cured before and it had a reaction with the adhesive from your vinyl. You could try and clean it up with some rubbing alcohol and some Q-tips. But anyway, once I'm done with all of that, I did seal it with Rust-Oleum 2x clear gloss spray paint, just so that that glitter would not move around. But look at how beautiful. This is applying the first layer of epoxy over our Tacket glitter in Peekaboo. Oh my gosh, I just love it. I am using Fast Set here. And we are going to sprinkle in some cute little pink Christmas trees, also from Batty Glitter. This is totally optional. The file for this template comes with stars, which is what the original design had. And you just place the stars between all the trees. But I really wanted to use these cute little pink Christmas trees. So I just placed them all kind of randomly around the cup as that epoxy was drying. And then I went into sanding as soon as my epoxy was dry, which in this case was about 4 hours before it was ready to sand. And you'll see here I am sanding again to expose another fine line of stainless steel. And if I didn't sand down that first pink glitter layer far enough down, we would potentially have it poking through this round of sanding, which is really hard to repair. The reason I am sanding down the top rim at this stage is so that our final coats of epoxy will have something to adhere to create the seal for our tumbler on the outer rim rather than the very top rim where it's more vulnerable. If we did not sand down that glitter, the next layers would just not adhere as well, and we could risk having a blown seal on this cup. So it's very important to finish strong with a design like this. I'm also going to go around and sand down any kind of pokey bits that might be coming through, clean it up with rubbing alcohol and paper towel, and it should be smooth enough now to apply our final touch with the vinyl. I'm using this pink opal holographic vinyl that I got from Vinyl Cottage. I will link it down below. And this little thing here, these little offsets, they do come with the template that we used. And it has just enough to add one to every tree, including the little tree that we put on the very bottom of our cup. So cute. And I think this pink vinyl just goes with those little pink Christmas trees so well. And once we get done placing all of our vinyl, I am going to seal everything in with a water-based urethane sealer. I'm using Maker's Magic, which is a new product from Scorch Marker. And I just poured a little bit in a cup and I'm going to apply it using a silicone brush. This will seal the edges of our vinyl to ensure we don't have any lifting after our final coats of epoxy. This does take a little while to dry. I'm going to give it a full 2 hours before I apply my final coats. Lastly, I'm going to apply our final coat of epoxy. I'm using my Artist Cure formula for the final coat because it's got those enhanced UV and HALS stabilizers to ensure our cup stays bright and white for a very long time. But that's it for this video. I had so much fun creating this, and I hope you had fun watching it. And I am looking forward to the new year and having kind of a renewed commitment to my content and to my channel and to my audience. I love you guys so much, and you've stuck with me for so many years now, and I am so thankful. Thank you for an amazing year. Thank you for supporting Flynn Sisters Supply Shop. We're overwhelmed with gratitude, and even through an overwhelming amount of grief and sadness, we have felt so loved and supported by our community, and I'm very thankful for that. I hope you all have a wonderful holiday season, and I'll see you next time. Big thank you to all of our Flynn Sisters exclusive members. Thank you for your pledge. Your support means the world to our channel. If you love this video, you could check out our last video here. Also be sure to find us on Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, and of course subscribe for all our new videos that come out every Wednesday and Saturday. Thanks so much for watching. See you soon.